Have you ever used a secret code with a friend? Maybe you wrote notes where A was B and B was C? Well, the internet has its own way of sending secret messages, and it's called SSL, which stands for Secure Sockets Layer. Think of it as a special invisible tunnel created just for you and the website you're visiting. When you send information through this tunnel, like your name or a password, it gets all scrambled up. It's like putting your message into a high-tech blender. This scrambling process ensures that if anyone tries to peek at your information as it travels across the internet, they will only see a jumbled mess of characters that makes absolutely no sense. It's a wonderfully simple and powerful idea. Now you might also hear about something called TLS, which means Transport Layer Security. TLS is basically the newer, stronger, and more modern version of SSL. It's like upgrading from a really good bicycle lock to a super strong top-of-the-line one. While many people still say SSL, most of the time they are actually using the updated TLS technology. The goal for both is exactly the same: to create a secure, private connection between your computer and the website server. This connection is like a secret handshake that only your device and the website know. It happens automatically in the blink of an eye to protect your digital conversations from eavesdroppers. Isn't that neat? So how does this secret handshake work? Imagine you walk up to a website's front door. Before you share any secrets, your web browser asks the website, "Hey, can you prove you are who you say you are?" The website then shows your browser its special ID, which is its SSL certificate. Your browser checks this ID to make sure it's legitimate and not a fake. Once your browser is happy and confirms the website is authentic, they agree on a secret code that only the two of them will use for the rest of your visit. This all happens faster than you can snap your fingers, setting up that private tunnel I mentioned earlier. From that moment on, everything you do on that website is protected. Every form you fill out, every button you click, and every piece of information you send or receive is scrambled using that unique secret code. It's a continuous two-way protection system. This means that not only is the information you send to the website safe, but the information the website sends back to you is also safe. This prevents sneaky internet spies from changing the information on its way to you, like showing you a fake login page or a different price for an item. It's a fundamental layer of security that makes the modern web work. Science. Let's look at the very top of your web browser in the address bar. You usually see HTTP at the beginning of a website address. That stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is just the standard way computers talk to each other to show you websites. It's like the basic language of the web. But sometimes, you'll see an extra letter, HTTPS. That little S is a very big deal. It stands for secure, and it's your visual clue that the website is using that SSL TLS secret handshake we just talked about. When you see HTTPS, you know the connection between your browser and that website is encrypted and protected. Think of it this way: HTTP is like sending a postcard. Anyone who handles it along the way can read what you wrote. It's out in the open for anyone to see. HTTPS, on the other hand, is like sending a letter inside a locked steel box. Only you have one key, and the person you're sending it to has the only other key. No one else can open that box and read the message inside. That's why the S is so important. It tells you that your data is not a postcard. It's a private message locked away securely for its entire journey across the internet. Beside the HTTPS in your browser's address bar, you will almost always see a little padlock icon. This padlock is another super clear sign that your connection is secure. It's the browser's way of shouting, "All clear, it's safe to proceed." If you click on that padlock, you can even see details about the website's security certificate. On the flip side, if a website is not secure, modern browsers like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari will often warn you. You might see a not secure label or even a red broken padlock. These are warnings telling you to be careful and to avoid entering any personal information. Always look for that padlock. So, why does this matter so much? Because we do so much online. We share our names, our email addresses, our credit card numbers, and our private thoughts. Without HTTPS, all of that information would be sent like an open postcard, vulnerable to being intercepted by cybercriminals. These criminals could steal your identity, drain your bank account, or use your login credentials for other websites. HTTPS is the essential shield that protects our digital lives from these threats. It turns the wild, open internet into a much safer place for us to communicate, shop, and learn. It's a simple letter, but it makes a world of difference. So, if a website shows your browser an ID to prove it's real, who issues that ID? You can't just print one yourself, right? That's where certificate authorities, or CAs, come in. Think of a CA as the internet's version of the Department of Motor Vehicles. When you get a driver's license, the DMV verifies who you are. They check your birth certificate, your address, and other documents before they issue you an official photo ID. A certificate authority does something very similar for websites. They are trusted, independent organizations that verify a website's identity before issuing it an official SSL certificate. They are the referees of online trust. These CAs have a very important job. They have to make sure that the website asking for a certificate is truly who it claims to be. For example, if a website named mybigbank.com requests a certificate, the CA will go through a series of checks to confirm that the request is actually coming from the real MyBigBank and not from a scammer trying to impersonate the bank. They might check business registration documents, domain ownership records, and other official information. This rigorous checking process is what gives the SSL certificate its value. It's not just a random file, it's a verified statement of identity from a trusted third party. Your web browser already knows about these trusted CAs. It comes with a built-in list of reputable certificate authorities. When your browser sees an SSL certificate from a website, it checks the signature on the certificate to see if it was issued by one of the CAs on its pre-approved list. If the CA is on the list, the browser trusts the certificate and establishes that secure connection with the padlock icon. But if the certificate was issued by an unknown, untrusted entity, or if something is wrong with it, your browser will show a big warning message. It's like a bouncer at a club checking your ID and saying, "Sorry, I don't recognize this." This system of trust is what holds the secure web together. Without SAS, anyone could create a fake certificate for any website. A scammer could easily set up a fake version of your favorite online store, complete with a fake SSL certificate, and your browser would have no way of knowing it was a trap. You'd enter your credit card information, thinking you were safe, but you'd be handing it directly to a thief. Certificate authorities act as the impartial, trusted gatekeepers that prevent this from happening. They provide the foundation of trust that allows us to confidently and safely navigate the digital world. It's a brilliant system. Getting an SSL certificate isn't a one-time thing, it's a process, and that process actually has a life cycle, just like a living thing. It all begins when a website owner decides to secure their site. They go to a certificate authority and apply for a certificate. The first step is validation. As we discussed, the CA needs to confirm the applicant's identity. There are different levels of validation. The most basic level just confirms that the applicant controls the website's domain name. More advanced, and honestly more trustworthy, validation involves checking the legal identity of the business itself, which often results in the company's name being displayed next to the padlock in the browser. Once the certificate authority has successfully validated the website owner's identity, it issues the SSL certificate. This certificate contains key information: the website's domain name, the name of the organization that owns it, the name of the CA that issued it, and, very importantly, an expiration date. SSL certificates don't last forever. They typically expire after about a year. This is a crucial security feature. It ensures that the CA has to revalidate the website's information on a regular basis. Think of it like renewing your driver's license. It's a chance to make sure all the information is still correct and up to date. During its life, the certificate is presented to every visitor's browser to start that secure HTTPS connection. Your browser checks it every single time. It checks that the certificate hasn't expired. It checks that the domain name on the certificate matches the website you are actually visiting, and it checks that the certificate hasn't been revoked. What does revoked mean? Well, sometimes a certificate needs to be canceled before its expiration date. This might happen if the website's private security key was stolen by hackers, or if the CA discovers that the certificate was issued based on false information. When a certificate is revoked, the certificate authority adds it to a public blacklist. Your web browser regularly checks these blacklists. If you try to visit a website whose certificate has been revoked, your browser will block the connection and show you a stern security warning. This is the internet's emergency brake system. It prevents you from connecting to a website that is known to be compromised. This entire life cycle, issuance after validation, a limited lifespan with an expiration date, and the ability to revoke it if something goes wrong, creates a robust system that helps keep us all safe online. It's a continuous cycle of checking and rechecking. Science in action. Let's think about two of the most common things we do online: shopping and banking. In both cases, we are dealing with our most sensitive personal and financial information. When you shop on an e-commerce website, you enter your name, shipping address, phone number, and of course, your credit card details. When you log into your online banking portal, you enter your username and password, which gives you access to your account balance, transaction history, and the ability to transfer money. This is exactly the kind of data that cybercriminals are desperate to get their hands on. It's a treasure trove for them. Now imagine doing any of that on a website without HTTPS. Every piece of information you type would be sent across the internet in plain text, like that postcard we talked about. A hacker lurking on the same Wi-Fi network at a coffee shop, or a criminal who has compromised a part of the internet's infrastructure, could easily intercept that data. They could grab your credit card number and go on a shopping spree. They could steal your banking login and drain your account. This is why SSL is not just a nice feature for these sites. It is absolutely essential. It's the fundamental technology that makes online commerce and banking possible. When you see that padlock icon and the HTTPS on your bank's website, you can feel confident that your login credentials are being scrambled and sent through that secure, private tunnel. The bank knows it's talking to you, and you know you're talking to the real bank, thanks to the certificate from a trusted CA. This secure connection protects your entire session from logging in to checking your balance to paying a bill. It allows millions of people to manage their finances safely from their homes every single day, without having to worry about someone snooping on their financial activities. The same goes for online shopping. That secure connection ensures that your payment information is protected from the moment you enter it until it reaches the store's secure payment processor. It also protects your privacy. You probably don't want the whole world to know what you're buying, right? Encryption keeps your purchase history private between you and the retailer. Without SSL, the digital economy as we know it would simply collapse. No one would trust the internet with their money. So next time you click Buy Now or log in, take a moment to appreciate that little padlock. It's the silent guardian of your digital wallet. The internet is a vast place, and search engines like Google are our primary guides. They help us find the information we need, the products we want, and the services we use. Because Google has such a big role in how we experience the web, it has a vested interest in making the internet a safer place for everyone. A safer web means people will use it more, and that's good for everybody, including Google. To encourage this, Google made a very important decision a few years ago. It started using HTTPS as a ranking signal. This means that if two websites are otherwise equal in quality, the one that is secure with HTTPS will likely rank higher in search results. Think of it as Google giving a gold star to websites that take their users' security seriously. It's a small but significant nudge to website owners telling them, hey, securing your site is important, and we will reward you for it. This decision had a massive impact. Suddenly, website owners who wanted to get more visitors from Google had a very strong incentive to install an SSL certificate and switch to HTTPS. It wasn't just about protecting users who were filling out forms anymore. It was about being more visible in the world's most popular search engine. It changed the conversation from, do I need HTTPS, to, how quickly can I get HTTPS? This move by Google accelerated the adoption of HTTPS across the entire web. Websites that previously didn't handle sensitive information like blogs, news sites, or simple informational pages began to make the switch. Why? Because even if they weren't collecting passwords or credit cards, they still wanted the small ranking boost and the trust that comes with the padlock icon. Google's Chrome browser also started more aggressively marking non-HTTPS sites as not secure, further encouraging the shift. It was a classic carrot and stick approach. The carrot was a better search ranking, and the stick was a scary warning label. The result is a web that is dramatically safer today than it was a decade ago. While the primary reason to use HTTPS will always be to protect user data and privacy, Google's influence has been a powerful catalyst for change. It helped to establish HTTPS as the baseline standard for all websites, not just for banks and online stores. By tying security to visibility, Google used its immense influence for good, pushing the entire internet towards a more secure and trustworthy future. It's a wonderful example of how a major technology company can help lift up the entire ecosystem. Consider the impact. In the early days of the web, people thought that only certain types of websites needed the protection of SSL. The common belief was that if you weren't handling credit cards or passwords, you didn't need to bother with HTTPS. Today, we know that this view is outdated and frankly, wrong. In the modern digital world, Every single website should use HTTPS without exception. It's no longer just about protecting financial transactions, it's about protecting privacy, ensuring data integrity, and building a foundation of trust with every single person who visits your site. Every website is a part of the larger internet ecosystem. Think about what can happen even on a simple, unsecured news website or blog. An attacker could intercept the connection and change the content of the articles you are reading, spreading misinformation. They could inject malicious advertisements or tracking scripts into the page to monitor your browsing habits across the web. They could even try to redirect you from the legitimate news site to a malicious one that tries to install a virus on your computer. HTTPS prevents all of this. By scrambling the connection, it guarantees that the content you see is exactly what the website owner intended for you to see, and nothing else. Furthermore, privacy is a fundamental right. Even if a visitor isn't logging in or buying something, they have a right to browse the web without having their activity tracked by unauthorized third parties. An unsecured HTTP connection reveals every single page you visit to anyone on the network path. This information can be collected and used to build a detailed profile about your interests, your beliefs, and your habits. Using HTTPS on all sites protects this basic right to browse privately. It tells your visitors, "We respect your privacy, and we are taking steps to protect it," which is a powerful way to build trust and credibility. Ultimately, moving the entire web to HTTPS is a community effort. Every website that makes the switch contributes to a safer and more secure internet for everyone. The good news is that it has never been easier or more affordable to get an SSL certificate. Many hosting companies now offer them for free, and organizations like Let's Encrypt have made it possible for anyone to secure their site at no cost. There are no more excuses. HTTPS should be the default setting for the entire web. It's the new standard for a modern, trustworthy, and private internet. It's an investment in a better digital future for all of us.